Hello folks, this is Sula once again. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video, we're going to be looking at how the Yordles trait can play into the Arcanist trait. There's a great deal of natural synergy between Yordles and Arcanists, and I'm going to demonstrate in this game how I use them together to put together what turns out to be a pretty nice Arcanist team comp. So here we have the initial carousel. I am going to take a Chain Vest. This game was played, this game's going to get posted right about when the next patch comes out for Teamfight Tactics. I played it before that, but it's going to be uploaded around the time that the new patch comes out. So it's not on the new patch. We've been on this patch for a while now, about 3 weeks, and I have loved it. My single biggest complaint about Teamfight Tactics is the game is patched too frequently and that there are too many changes in all the patches. So the fact that there's been actual stability for 3 weeks has been just amazing, and that's a big reason why I've been playing more games. When there are literally like 75 changes every 2 weeks, I just can't keep track of the game, and it makes me want to not play it. But the fact that we've just been on a consistent patch for a while has been just really, really nice for me. So anyway, that out of the way, let's look at what's going on in this game. I took the Chain Vest because this patch was heavy on Katarina, heavy on Assassins, and Bramble Vest was one of the key items to defend against that in this patch. What I see right away on this board that I get what looks like this, what could be a potential Yordle Arcanist start, and then this is what swings my game right here. That orb drops a Heimerdinger and a Malzahar, and so I already have 3 Yordles right out of the gate, and I have a Malzahar, who is a great source of damage for an Arcanist team comp. So I am 100% going to play this. And I'm going to take and augment the 2 target tummies that plays into this. So what I want to do is I want to get Yordles in, and then I'm going to want to put Malzahar in at level 4, and we're just going to be off and running with this start. By the way, but then I also get 2 Twisted Fates here, and I was like, I guess I want to pick that up as well, because why not? Twisted Fate also is a good early game unit. He's really good if you can put a Morellos on him early, because his cards apply the burn to a good portion of the board, so I'll pick that as well. And yeah, I'm going to be in the problem here whereby I actually have more units than I can play, which is a really unusual position to be in, but also a nice position to be in. Like, I have so many things that are good that I can't get them all onto the board at the same time. But that is not the worst position to be in. So just as a quick refresher on the Yordle trait, what the Yordle trait does at Yordles 3 is it does no in-combat benefits. But what it will give you is you will get a Yordle at the start of every round, or at the start of every round following an actual PvP round. You don't get them following PvE rounds against monsters. So that's why I haven't gotten any of them yet. I will be getting them soon. And now I'm like, oh, I hit the 2-star TF. I want to get TF in, but like I can't even get up to level 4 to play all of these units. It's like I want to put moles in, I want to put TF in, but I can't keep the Yordle trait in play if that's going on. The one downside is I did get a bow. I didn't really have a good use for that bow, so I'm just going to go ahead and make the Zerat portal. It's probably the best thing I can do with bows, because Arcanists as a team comp really do not want bows. So as of right now, I have no traits in that actually provide any kind of combat advantage whatsoever. Remember, Yordles is going to give me a Yordle unit at the start of the next round, because this is the first PvP round. It'll give me a Yordle following this round. But it does nothing in this actual combat. So my board's actually pretty weak. All my units are 1-starred, and I've got this trait that does not provide any combat benefit whatsoever. But what it does do is provides me the economic benefit. And that's one of the reasons why Yordles plays into Arcanist really well, is you get this great econ advantage while playing units that you'd probably be playing anyway. So like, for example, I can sell the Lulu, that's 2 gold, and now I'm going to level, even though this is an off-level timing, 2-2 is not when you typically would level. I'm going to go ahead and level just because I want to put Mauls in. I wasn't sure if 1-star Malzahar or 2-star Twisted Fate was better, so I just figured I'd put in that Malzahar for right now, and that will give me the Arcanist trait. Now, why Yordles is so good for Arcanists is there's a bunch of different units that you're just going to want to play in a Yordles comp, in an Arcanist comp anyway. In particular, you might as well play Ziggs, because he is an Arcanist. You might as well play Vex. Vex is typically the front line that you run in an Arcanist comp. So it's 2 units that are Yordle plus Arcanist anyway. And then in addition to that, you have Heimerdinger, who's a Scholar, and Scholar's a great trait to have in an Arcanist team comp. So you've got like these 3 units that you'd be playing anyway, or can play. Heimer you maybe wouldn't play there are other scholars that are a little bit better than him. But I mean, you can play these units; they fit very neatly into the team comp, and then you're getting the additional benefit economically from running Yordles anyway. So it's just there's a great deal of natural synergy there. This is kind of one of two routes that you would typically. And by the way, here's a Vex already, and I was like, ooh, do I just sell the Poppy and then just play Vex instead? For the moment, I decided I'd hold off on that because it is a 2-star Poppy as opposed to just a 1-star Vex. And then I was thinking, like, am I ever going to play Swain in this setup? I was like, I don't think I do, so I'm just going to sell the Swain. And I think what I decide to do is I'm going to wait, and then when I hit level 5, I can potentially, at level 5, sell the Poppy, play Vex, play TF, and then I'll have 4 Yordle. Then I'll still have 3 Yordle, and then I'll have 4 Arcanist. And I think that's better. But for right now, the 2-star Poppy is probably better because I can't get up to 4 Arcanist until I'm up at level 5. There's basically 2 routes that you would typically play in an Arcanist comp in the early game. One would be the Yordle setup that I'm going to show in this game. The other would be a setup that I've shown in some other games, and that would be to play through TF plus Darius plus another Syndicate unit. And that can also be very strong if you hit like a 2-star Darius with good defensive items. I have shown that in a past YouTube video where it's like you get like a Warmogs and a Bramble Vest on Darius, and then you have TF plus like a random Syndicate like Zyra or something. Probably Zyra, because if you're playing Arcanist, you want Scholar trait. And so you're just relying on Darius to be super tanky, and then you're just kind of like putting Arcanist in behind that with him getting the Syndicate benefit. So that's kind of the 2 main ways you would build an Arcanist comp in the early game, and then go into more Arcanists as the game goes on. So here I have a couple different choices. I did think about the Chain Vest for Bramble, but I want to make sure I have at least 1 rod to keep my options open. I also think it's probably a little bit easier to get the Chain Vest down the road than it is to get the rods. I also have not gotten a Chain Vest to drop yet from the minions, so I have pretty good odds to get another Chain Vest drop at some point in time. And at this point, I was like, ooh, Lysandra, do I just play the Lysandra here? Like, I thought about it, but then I decided, no, let's go ahead and we'll sell the Lysandra to get the 3 gold, put in TF, and then here's where I'm debating. It's like, do I play Vex, or do I just sell the Poppy and look to... or do I just sell the Poppy and then play Vex for the 4 Arcanists? And ultimately, I decided, let's drop the Poppy. I'd rather play the Vex, and that way I can get up to 4 Arcanists, which is going to be quite a bit more ability power. I do not have the cheat sheet in front of me right now, but 4 Arcanists, 2 Arcanists is 20% ability power, and then I believe 4 Arcanists goes up to, I think, 45% ability power on your Arcanist unit, so it's a pretty big jump. And since I don't have much in the way of items that add damage, I'm kind of relying on the trait to add additional damage. But this is really a dream start. Like, you really can't ask for better than this from an Arcanist perspective. And then I was like, do I sell the Ziggs to get to 20? I was like, yeah, I sell the Ziggs to get to 20 because I'm going to keep getting more Yordles. So I'll get 2-star Ziggs inevitably anyway. I don't need to hold this unit. Ziggs is going to pop up anyway, so I'll sell him to get to 20. So yeah, I'm in great shape economically here. There's more Swains, and look, Ziggs comes right back again, so whatever. I will pick up the Swain because it doesn't cost money to hold him here, but I'm not really planning on playing Swain. We'll just see what I hit. I may need him to hit 6 Arcanists. I guess we'll find out. If I hit like an early Lux, then I'll play him for 6 Arcanists at like level 7 or something. So right now I'm just looking at other team comps. I definitely would like to win this round so I can continue my win streak. I lost that first round when I didn't really have anything in. I'm actually going to scoot Heimer over a tile because I looked at that comp that had 100 HP and is win streaking, and I wanted to make sure that their Blitzcrank hook would hit the Ziggs and not the Heimerdinger. So that's what I was doing there. I ended up hitting a different comp entirely. I hit someone who took the Chemtech Explosion Augment, but does not appear to have Chemtech trait in right now, and they do not look very strong. I think they're trying to play Mercenaries and Lost Streak, but I'm content to give them their loss as I take my win. The problem with them playing Mercenaries is it's like, yes, Lost Streaking is fine with Mercenaries, but you don't want to be level 4 with 0 gold. That is a bad place to be. Level 4 is 0 gold at the end of Stage 2. It's perfectly fine to be on a Lost Streak if you're at, you know, what is it, like 30 gold or 40 gold? Like, that's fine. That's actually a good place to be. But when you're Lost Streaking and you have no gold in the bank, then you're in a bit of trouble. So I should talk a little bit about the odds for the units that come out of the Yordle trait. So there have been posts about what the percentage odds are. I believe that it is, I know it's 15%. So it's basically just you have a straight percentage to get 1 cost, 2 cost, or 3 cost units. And then within that percentage, it pulls units from the pool based on what units are still available in the shop. So here I'm going to sell to get up to 40 gold. And now Lysandra's come back and I can put her in for Scholar. So the way that that works is I know it's 15% odds to get either to get a 3-cost unit. So it's 15% odds to get either Vex or to get Heimerdinger. So if you hit the 15%, then it checks the shop to see what the odds are to get Heimerdinger or Vex. So if there's like, just hypothetically speaking, if there were 10 Heimerdingers and 5 Lysandras, you'd have 2/3 odds to get Heimerdinger and 1/3 odds to get Vex. If you were in that situation. I believe it's 60%, 25%, 15% for what comes out. 60% to get a 1-cost unit. That is either Poppy or Ziggs. And then 25% to get a 2-cost unit, Lulu or Tristana. And then 15% to get the 3-cost units, Vex or Heimerdinger. So I believe that that's how the trait works. And having the Yordle trait in, I believe it generates on average about 1.5 gold per round. Or in my case, it also gives me the odds to get Vex or Heimer or Ziggs, all of whom I'm playing, and all of whom I'm probably going to play the whole game. In particular, this can be a great trait to try to hit 3-star Vex, which is really, really nice for Arcanist comps. The Achilles heel of Arcanists is they don't have much frontline. By the way, this shop is unbelievable. I hit a Janna and a Lux at 5% odds. It's like, what? You've got to be kidding me. So, yeah, we're going to play the Lux. I'll just go ahead and, even though it hurts to sell the Malzahar, I will go ahead and move this Rod over to the Lux. In retrospect, I maybe should have held a little bit longer. One of the things about Lux is her ult is not that consistent at low levels, or like, and without items. And there's another Lulu that I have to sell here too. Sooner or later, I'm going to realize that I should sell this. I should sell this Lulu. Maybe I'll get it the next round. So yeah, Lux, I mean, when she's properly itemized, when she's 2-starred, she can be really, really strong, but she doesn't really do that much damage until she has that stuff. And of course, the big thing with Lux is she needs to reset on her ultimate. If she kills a unit on her ult, she gets mana back. But like, look at what happened there. That Malzahar went down to like 5% HP, but did not actually die. And she keeps coming very close to killing units without actually killing them against this person who's playing the mutant trait, and the mutant trait in this game is Omnivamp, so that's why they kept healing. Here I'm going to get a nice augment for my comp. Runic Shield. Arcanists start combat with a shield equal to, I think it's 300% of their ability power. So this just means I 100% am playing Arcanist, I got a useful augment, and I definitely want 6 Arcanists because that'll increase the Runic Shield that they all get at the start of combat. Getting back to Lux, though, again, Lux really needs at least 1 mana item. She does better with blue buff than with Shojin, but both are decent. In the patch that's upcoming, she's going to be really good with blue buff because the new blue buff is going to be that you start combat with 50 mana, so she can just cast like instantly once with the new blue buff. But even in this patch with the older blue buff, she definitely makes better use of blue. In particular, she wants blue because if she kills a unit, then she goes back to 30 mana. And then blue gives her another 20 mana after casting, so she's right at 50 out of 60 mana. So she can just cast, and then reset, and then cast, and then reset, and then cast again and again. Shojin's not nearly as good, but it's still not a bad item on her. Still, you really need at least 1 mana item on her. She just doesn't really do a whole lot. So her with just like a Rod is not going to be super impressive. And it's debatable as to whether she's actually better than Malzahar in that situation, because Mal's ticking damage can actually be pretty useful, whereas Lux oftentimes will just kind of like tickle the enemies. If she's not resetting and killing the enemy backline, she doesn't do a whole lot. So I'm not surprised that I've lost some rounds here. Again, not shocking. Other people have presumably had to roll a little bit at 6, although maybe not. This is only a gold game, so I don't know what people are doing. I sure as heck would like that spatula, because that would allow me to make an Arcanist spatula item. But it gets taken instantly, so I was like, oh, okay. Well, we'll have to see what else we can get. So out of what's left here, the glove was my next choice. The glove then gets taken. So since that's off the board, I'm going to go ahead and take the tier, and that's because I need a mana item for Lux. See, I was leading into that point. You knew I was going somewhere with that. Anyway, I need a mana item for Lux. She doesn't need like a death cap that badly. Jeweled Gauntlet would be nice. I sure would love to have her ability to crit. But because Arcanist gets so much base ability power anyway from the Arcanist trait, Death Cap doesn't really do that much for them. And here I have the chance to go ahead and level. It's only 12 more gold to level to 7, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Obviously, that only puts me at Arcanist 5. That doesn't like make anything else in addition to the trait, but just having Malzahar in there to deal additional damage is nice. So yeah, what is it? Your team gains, Arcanist 4 is your team gains 20 ability power. Arcanists gain another 45. So I guess they all get 65 AP. That means that the relative value of getting like a death cap is less because, you know, Lux starts a fight with 165 AP anyway. So like a death cap just takes that to from, what is that, 100 AP, you go from like 65 to 165. Obviously still a big increase, but it's not as big of an increase in percentage-wise terms as it would be for someone who is not an Arcanist. And of course, Arcanists are balanced around the assumption that you're going to be getting a lot of ability power. Their abilities actually do less damage, like as far as the base values goes, because the designers understand you're going to be stacking a lot of AP. By the way, this fight is really sad. Trundle just keeps healing and healing and healing. He has a Hand of Justice. He obviously rolled healing on it this round. And that was also Thrill of the Hunt, was the augment over there. Thrill of the Hunt gives you back health whenever you kill a unit. So unfortunately we lose that round, which is not great. But, you know, a close loss, not terrible right now because I'm on this modest losing streak. And it's really not that bad to lose some rounds here. I would still rather win, but like my preferred outcome here heading into the minion round is a close loss. That would be the ideal thing that I could hit. I am disappointed I didn't beat that person because that person that I just lost to was on the full win streak. That was the 100 HP person, so I really would have liked to have beaten them and ended their win streak. Unfortunately, it looks like I hit the weakest person in the lobby. This is the person who's on 37 HP. They're playing Mercenaries. They have like this random Chemtic Explosion augment. I don't really know what they're doing, so unfortunately there's just no way I can avoid beating this person, and I don't want to give them a big Mercenary cash out anyway. I have no idea if they're on like a big lush streak with Mercenaries, but I don't want to give them a Mercenaries cash out, so. We do have to take that win, which is not as good economically, but whatever. I can deal 14 damage to them, and I'm not exactly sad that I won a round and didn't take any damage, so it's not the worst thing. This is another great shop. We found 2 Jannas and we found 2 Luxes, so like this is great. I don't think I'm going to have to roll at level 7. I think I can go straight to 8 and roll a bit there, because I'm still relatively healthy as far as HP goes, but we'll see how these rounds goes. I thought maybe I'd do like 1 round or 2 and then see how it goes. But then again, another supremely lucky shop here. Look what just popped out. I get another Lux, so now I just hit Lux 2-star without having to roll at all. And in addition to this, a spatula's popped out as well. So I can go ahead and make this Arcanist emblem. I can toss it on Janna. And now I can put that tier on Lux. I was like, yeah, we'll just put this on Janna. Yep, past me. And now I've got the items for a Sunfire Cape, and I was like, alright, I guess I'll just make Sunfire. I have no healing reduction in my comp right now, so it's not a bad item to make. We'll put it on Vex, and even though these Vex items are definitely not best in slot, they're still pretty good. You also might have noticed I picked up a Braum there, and that's because I'm feeling the lack of frontline. Like, my comp looks really good. I basically get an extra unit to play because I've got the Arcanist emblem. So I can basically like play 1 more unit than I would normally. And I was like, I'll just pick up the Brahms. If I don't see anything else, I'll just play Braum at level 8 because that gives me more frontline, and that's what I'm lacking in this comp right now. This fight is like the world's slowest car chase, Leona and Talon hitting my Vex, but with the Sunfire and with the Bramble, I'm pretty sure I win this eventually. Don't forget I also have the Zerat minion that'll pop out too. So we end up winning that, and that's pretty nice. And here's another Braum. I was like, okay. Maybe we do play Braum 2-star. It certainly doesn't hurt me to pick this up, even though Braum's not going to make any traits whatsoever. He's Syndicate Bodyguard. He is a tanky unit. He can just stand up there on the front lines. If he gets 1 ult off, then I'll be super happy in the fights. You know, if he lives for 5 seconds and gets off an ult before dying, that's a good result. It just buys time for Lux to charge up her mana, start getting kills, start resetting, and doing her thing. So we've got, what is it? I'm on a modest 2-match win streak. Also managed to hit 6 Ziggs, so I'll just hold on to them. Long term, I will have to decide what units I want to play based on what that last augment is. If I can get another Arcanist emblem, I would love to go up to 8 Arcanists. It's a little greedy to do so. In fact, it's probably better to stick with 6 and play like more Enchanters or something like that. But, if I get another Arcanist emblem, we'll have to make that decision. Going up to 8 Arcanists is a possibility. In addition to that, I could always look to get some other useful augments. Like maybe I can, I don't know, get there's another Arcanist one. I've got the one that gives me the shield at the start of combat. There's also the one whereby your auto attacks deal damage. That would be nice to have as well. And here, again, I continue high rolling like crazy in this game. I find a Yuumi. I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll just play the Yuumi over the Janna here. Why not? That does lose scrap, but who the heck cares? It puts Academy in play, and this is just going to be a strong unit to play overall. And I find another Malzahar there as well. So Academy is not going to do that much, but hey, I mean, it makes Lux a little bit stronger. Yuumi is a fantastic unit. Arcanist Yuumi is going to be amazing. Her ability is going to do so much with her getting all of the Arcanist ability powers. She gets like 100 ability power, so her ult will actually like do damage to the enemy team. So yeah, typically if you find an Arcanist emblem, a unit that you often put it on is Taric. He's often a really good person to put it on because then his heals just heal for like insane amounts. But because I found the Yuumi super duper early, I'm just going to play the Yuumi instead, and she can definitely make use of that Arcanist emblem. Alright, there's another Yuumi here on the carousel. I am last pick because I've been win streaking here. So what I'm looking for more than anything else, though, is I'm looking for either the sword or the tear, because I really need to make either Spear of Shojin or blue buff for Lux. I don't really think I'm going to get a sword that's being held by Akali. Someone has to want that. So I'm hoping that I can get this Vi with the tear, and it looks like no one wants that. Good news is tiers tend to have relatively low priority in the current makeup of Teamfight Tactics. We'll see with the new blue buff if that remains true. But in this patch, the tiers were not considered to be that high of a value. All right, so we're going to go ahead, make blue buff on Lux. Go ahead and level, and now I'm level 8, so I'll just toss in the Braum for right now. And I hit Braum 2-star, so I was like, okay, we hit Braum 2-star so easily. Let's just play him for more frontline. And remember, I have a 1-star Vex right now. Vex is still not 2-star. In fact, I haven't even found a second Vex. I hit that one Vex on the minion, very early on. But I still have not even found 2 Vexes, much less 3. Much less 9 for Vex 3-star. So because my Vex is, relatively weak, that's why I feel like I need the Braum. And that's just me adjusting my team composition based on what I'm seeing. So like Braum, can he get off the ult? Boom! Knocks up Yone. Excellent. That buys time for Lux to start resetting and killing things. And Lux's damage will be so much higher now that she has blue. She just ults so much more frequently. She ends up doing the most damage in the team fight. So I needed either a blue or a Shojin. And that's why I had to prioritize. Note that I took tiers off 2 consecutive carousels. A good example of how you have to know what items your team comp needs as you build forward. All right, so we've got 3 good choices here. Exiles 2 would be nice. Get another shield. I just like double up on the shields. I could get Sunfire board, but I do already have a Sunfire cape. So I decide, let's go the slightly riskier route and go for the Tome of Traits. I'm looking for Arcanist here. That would be my ideal pickup. So I'm hoping to see Arcanist. I don't see Arcanist, but I get something that's pretty good too. I see Scholar. I was like, okay, I can make use of that. Again, this is not as good as pulling Arcanist, because that would allow me to like just drop Twisted Fate out of the comp. And then I could look to play maybe Taric or another Enchanter or put Janna back in or something like that. But this is not bad. What I can do now is just toss the Scholar Emblem on somebody. I pick Mauls just to give him 100 extra HP. And now I can play another Scholar at level 9. And that should be Janna. So it's going to be a 4 Scholar game. 6 Arcanist, 4 Scholar. And then we'll play Janna, and then we'll get Scrap Trait back in again. And then that'll be our board. Oh, and Twisted Fate comes out for Victor, and that's our board. And that should be a pretty competitive board. Now, I do want to get some more ability power if possible. Like, I still have very little in the way of actual AP items, and that is a bit of a weakness. So that's kind of why I'm relying on the Arcanist trait. Now, Lux gets popped relatively early in the fight, but the good news is Katarina also dies. And so even though we lose our main carry, note that Vex is still very much alive, and Braum is at 75% HP. So it looks like we were able to win streak all through that stage, and that's great news. I am at 49 gold, but I'm not going to roll anymore. So because we have 2-star Lux, because most of our board is 2-star, we're just going to fast level 9. Oh, and there's Victor. So yeah, this is a pretty big high roll game here. I'm kind of getting everything that I want. There is also a Taric here, so one thing I should do is check where the spotlight is. Turns out the spotlight's in a bad spot for my comp. It's like the middle of the second row. That's a bad spot for me. So that confirms that I am not going to be playing into the Socialite spotlight this game. If it was in a back corner or something, I would maybe consider playing Taric. But I do want the 4 Scholars, and if I want 4 Scholars, I'm not going to be able to get Taric in. So it's not a spotlight game this time. All right, what do we end up getting here? Well, we get 4 items. Apparently, I had not gotten a lot of components throughout this game. But I see that I can make a Giant Slayer, so I'm 100% going to do that. And that leaves me with Morello's for the other item. This is definitely better than making like a Zerat and a Gunblade or something like that. So Morello's not quite ideal on Lux, but you know, she does hit a good portion of the board. These are obviously not her best in slot items, but you know, we'll make use of them. We'll take them. Certainly not bad. And I also have an item remover, so if I hit Victor 2-star, I can look to take some of these items off Lux and make Victor 2, put them on Victor 2-star. I would keep the blue on Lux, but I would probably put other items on Victor, because Victor 2-star is really, really strong. We just have to make sure he can cast. If I can find a Spear of Shojin, that would be amazing. So yeah, Lux is able to apply the Morellos onto the whole back line of that team. Lux is perfectly positioned in this fight. She's just right at the carries on this other team. And so yeah, we're able to win pretty easily. And by the way, I keep hitting this person, Levi. I know I keep coming back to this comp. I think it's like the 4th time I've seen this person. And whatever they're trying to do with mercenaries or what have you, they are not in good shape because they're on 10 HP. We'll see if they're able to win streak. They're going to need to go on a win streak because they're going to be out with one more loss. All right, I finally hit Vex 2-star. Thank goodness. Does not feel like I'm going to hit Vex 3-star this game. So again, the Braum could... I mean, there are other possibilities. I could always take Braum out and play Galio. I have done that in some other games because Galio makes fantastic frontline. Also gives a rank of the Socialite Spotlight, but that would mean I couldn't play 4 Scholar. So I really think it's going to be playing Janna at level 9, because 4 Scholar is really nice for my comp, especially with Victor having no mana items. Getting the 4 Scholar benefit really, really will help him. 2 Scholar is 5 mana per second, 4 Scholar is 10 mana per second, so it doubles the benefit. And of course with the spellcasting comp, it's very important for me to cast as much as possible. By the way, great CC from Braum, knocks up most of this team comp. The only question is, can we ever kill Yone? That is the one issue. Lux is not aiming at Yone, and no, we're not able to kill the Yone. So, Challenger's team, and the Thrill of the Hunt, as my past self highlights. The Thrill of the Hunt was also a problem because Yone kept healing. So, we're not able to beat that comp, and Yone comps tend to be a problem for Arcanist comps anyway. So that's not a great matchup for me, but if I can continue, my board can get a lot stronger here. We still have the 1-star Yumi, we have the 1-star Victor. We're going to get up to 4 Scholars when we hit level 9. So I've got time to get stronger here. I still have 61 health, so there's no need to rush. I am going to look to go to 9 after this carousel, because you can see it only costs 30 gold to level at this point. I'm trying to position a little bit away from there was an assassin comp I was just looking at that I hadn't seen in a while. I was trying to position away from that assassin comp. This comp I'm well positioned for because look how everything's lined up for Lux. You can just kind of hit everything in a big line. Apply Morellos to like 4 or 5 units on the enemy team. And I think this person's going for 3-star Trundle because they have 7 Trundles. Trundle reroll being a popular build right now. But yeah, that did not end up being a very close fight. And I actually want this. So here's the person I just hit, their actual round, the non-ghost round. They end up winning against the assassin, and I was happy to see that. I would like to see those assassin comps get out of the game because I am not very good against assassins. Here we've got some more interesting choices. There's a Gunblade here, which is not terrible. It's actually pretty good on Lux because she can keep healing your team. But she's already fully itemized, and I decided I'll go for the Braum with the Archangel Staff. I'll just put this on Victor for right now. This will give Victor a little bit of mana. It means that as the fight goes on, he'll get stronger as he casts. It's not great on him, but it's certainly not bad. And as I said, I can't really put another item on Lux because she's fully capped out. By the way, the Yordles trait has continued to give me units the whole game. I should continue to point that out. So I'm going to roll here. I'm looking for Janna. I'm looking for Victor. I see a Lysandra, so I'll toss that in case I don't find Janna. All right, nothing here. Tom Kench, no, not in this comp. Again, I can't really get Taric into the comp, so I just randomly hit Lysandra 2-star, so I was like, okay, I'll play that for right now. So I'll just stop rolling for the moment. I'll also hold on to this Vex just on the off chance I see a bunch of other Vexes. I don't really think I'm going to hit Vex 3-star, which would be amazing, but you know, it is what it is. We might as well make use of it. I'm kind of hoping Lysandra will put her ult on Yone, and that's actually exactly what happened. She gets to her ult CC on Yone, so that's going to take him out of the fight for 2 seconds. Now, is that going to be enough for us to win this fight? The answer is no. The answer is still no, but at least it was close. And this person has a GA on there, Yone. So 2 people playing Yone, 2 people both with 2-star Yone in the lobby. I don't love seeing them, and I don't love seeing that assassin player. So again, I've got plenty of time to continue to get stronger here. And a lot of these other comps are getting very low. I'm pretty much locked into like a top 3 or so, just based on how much health I have. But it would be nice to be able to win the lobby if at all possible. So again, still rolling. Not going to go for Lux 3-star. I don't see that happening. So I find one Janna, I find another Yuumi. There's another Ziggs. What the heck? You don't see a lot of 1-costs at level 9. So I'm getting close to filling out my board here. I have not seen Victor's, which is a little bit sad. Oh, there he is. Okay. So Victor pops up here, and I decide, you know what? I'm not going to 3-star Vex. I want to get a free shop refresh at the start of the next round. Let's just sell that Vex and pick up the Victor. So now I've got pairs of Victor and Yuumi, both of whom would be really strong if I could hit. And I'm also 3 Mauls away from Maul's 3-star, so that's a possibility as well. Looks like this fight, Braum just gets off an amazing ultimate that knocks up the team. Lux is getting resets constantly, so even though this is one of those Yone comps we were concerned about, looks like we're going to be able to win it. Oh, 1 HP. I really would have liked to have knocked that person out, but at least the assassin player got knocked out. ADQD was the assassin player. So still looking pretty good. I've got a lot of health. Thanks to winning that round, I'm in a good position to probably top 2, honestly. Just because, unless one of these other players at the bottom of that HP list goes on a big win streak. Just because I have so much more health than everybody else. Feeling pretty comfortable right now. The item that comes out of the dragon is not ideal for me. I would have loved a caster item of some kind. Gargoyle Stoneplate, I'll just toss on Braum to make him a bit tankier. It's certainly, I mean, it's not terrible. I can make use of this item with the random Braum who makes no traits whatsoever, but is actually still really important for my team, just because I need additional frontline here in this comp. I would not want to play solo Vex with just a Vex 2-star. Now we'll roll and see what we can hit. So there's another Janna, and there's the Victor, so that's a big hit. Although we did roll enough that I'm not surprised we hit it. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of these items off Lux. I'm going to keep the Morellos on her because she kind of hits more of the board and casts a lot faster. I'm going to put the Giant Slayer on Victor though, because he definitely does more damage with his ultimate. And now I'm rolling down, and there's Janna, so let's move out of the Lysandra and into Janna. Janna's going to be really, really good in this comp, although unfortunately I have Yuumi attached to Janna by accident this round. Whoops. Janna's going to be really good against these challenger team comps I keep seeing, because her ult, when it goes off, is going to push back anyone who's like dashing in to try to hit my team. There goes Lux applying Morellos to the board, and now let's see what Victor does now that he is 2-starred. So it still takes him a long time to cast, but go Victor Laser Show! Yeah, that was pretty good damage. So between him and Lux, I really have dual threats now, which is what you ideally want to see in some of these fights. I'm not tied to... Yeah, look at the damage. For all that Lux was applying Morello, Victor did 8,000 damage on his one cast. It wasn't even close. So yes, the late game Arcanist build really does want Victor to be itemized. That's why he's got the Giant Slayer. And he does stack up a lot of AP on his Archangel Staff by the time that he casts. So here I'm really just rolling for the Yuumi. My board's pretty capped at this point. So we go ahead and hit that. I mean, the game probably only has a couple more rounds left because everybody else is on single-digit HP. So again, I think I'm locked into a second-place finish at worst right now, given what everybody else's board looks like. But I've been getting a lot stronger. Victor 2-star in particular makes me so much stronger. Probably now I'm hoping I have enough damage to burst through these other team comps. The Gargoyle Stoneplate on the Braum is actually really nice as well. He's surviving a lot longer. And oh, look at that Janna ult. Pushes back the Yone. So Janna ult into the Yuumi ult. Just perfect. Look at that CC train shutting down Yone. Just what we want to see. So these units played perfectly, and now it's going to be down to just me and one other player. Unfortunately, it's another Yone player, which is not quite what I wanted. But oh well. And hey, looky what we're going to get. Oh, we're going to get Ziggs 3-star! Our fuzzy little mascot for the team. Why is Ziggs still in there? Well, because he makes scrap trait with Janna. And I need him for the Yordle trait to keep giving me extra income. I'm not even going to bother to roll for champs. I mean, what am I going to hit right now? I'm not close. I've 2-starred everything, and I'm not close to 3-starring anything. So I'm just watching the board. I want Lux to be on the opposite side from Yone, and I'm going to put both of my carries over here because there's no more Blitzcranks in the game. I don't have to worry about Blitzcrank pulls. So I'm just going to put both my carries as far away from the Yone as possible, so that when Yone puts his clone down, he's going to be hitting. Look who he's hitting. He's hitting Ziggs, and he's hitting Heimer. He's not hitting my carries. So even though it's a nice Yuumi ult on the other team, who's also playing Yuumi, my carries are not touched at all, so I think I had pretty good positioning for this fight, and Lux actually ends up doing the most damage, so It's a first. It's a very nice, very comfortable first place game. This is exactly what you want your Arcanist game to look like if you're going the Yordle route. Now, obviously, this was a pretty big high roll game. I mean, I got the Heimer and I got the Mauls immediately at the start of the game, which was exactly what I wanted. I hit Lux 2-star without rolling at all, and then I was able to hit Victor without much trouble. And I even got an Arcanist spatula item just off a spatula plus rod combo. So pretty big high roll, but you know what? You still have to take the pieces and put them together and make them work. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, have a good week. See you guys soon.